Yeah, baby. We just woke up from a nap now. Babes, you know what we were taught? You know what we were taught? We were taught self-abandonment. That's what we were taught. We were taught, trained to abandon ourselves. Everybody, teachers, in churches, our parents. If somebody does something wrong to you, turn the other cheek. Be the bigger person. Walk away. That's what we were taught. We weren't taught effective communication. Everybody thinks they can communicate. Everybody thinks because they can string a few words together in a sentence and let it come out of their mouth that they are communicating. But you know what? Successful communication is having an idea, sending that idea. It can be verbally, it can be through body language, it can be through different mediums. And then whatever the message is that you intended, the receiver, whoever you're speaking to, understands exactly that's the message. And that is successful communication. And we weren't taught that. We weren't taught that. I'm not talking about good times when things are good and you're laughing, carrying on. I'm talking about in the tough times, in the bad times, in the times when things are going the way that you don't want them to go. We weren't taught how to bring that forward in a way that is understood to the other person, that doesn't make them feel attacked. Because that's what we had to teach ourselves. We had to teach ourselves retaliation. That's what we taught on the playgrounds. We taught it to ourselves. Kry vir jou na pauze. Kry ek vir jou. That's why we see violence. Because people weren't taught how to use their words. And we're not responsible for what we were taught growing up as adults. What we choose to learn and how we choose to teach ourselves better. That is what is on you. You have the choice to continue in the way that you were taught growing up, or to find a better way. Either through self-abandonment, this is what we were taught, self-abandonment, sweep it under the rug, or to fight verbally with violence. But there is a other way, there is a different way. It doesn't have to end up with you abandoning yourself, and it doesn't have to end up being a fight. It doesn't need to end up that way. It's on us to make the change. It's on us not to abandon ourselves or to feel guilty for holding the other person accountable. Because now, that's also what we were taught, is to feel bad that you're holding somebody accountable, like you did something and there's consequences for your actions. Now you need to feel bad for that. But the truth is that you didn't force the person to do that. You didn't force them. You didn't hold a gun to their head. They did it out of their own free will. There's a way to communicate your boundaries. How to allow the person to see themselves exactly the way that you see them, without it coming across as you attacking them, because that's what happens. That's what we see happening. That's what we see happening. We have one person who is defending their identity. But their defense, whoever they are saying it to, that person is hearing it as an attack on their identity. So they defend their identity. And this person sees it as an attack. So what do we have now? We have a fight. Because there's two people attacking each other now. It's a fight. But it doesn't have to be that way. And I'll teach you how. My babes, I'll teach you how. I'll teach you how to use your words. It starts with knowing what you want for yourself and deciding what you will not accept for yourself, and then deciding what is the consequence if somebody treats you in a way that is unacceptable for you. Boundaries are a way to teach people how you want to be treated. You always hear, treat people how you want them to be treated. It doesn't work. Because all that person sees is no matter what I do, you stay kind. It doesn't matter how far I push you. I know that I'm not going to get any pushback. I'm never going to be held accountable. And then we have conversations like, don't they see how kind I am? Don't they see everything that I do for them? Why do they keep taking advantage of me? For two reasons. Either one, there's no boundary. There's no boundary to say, no, this is not okay with me. Or two, the boundary was communicated, but it was never enforced. It was never enforced. Because you never said, you know what, I don't need to accept this. You never said no. Because you abandoned yourself. Because you walk all over yourself. You lay yourself down like a doormat for people to walk over, and then you ask yourself, why are people treating me like a doormat? And it doesn't have to end with self-abandonment. And it doesn't have to end with retaliation either. Because neither of those are going to create a healthy, fulfilling dynamic between you and anybody else in your life. And it boils down to control. It boils down to control. Who controls the narrative? So you felt bullied, so you bullied the other person back. And now that person says, oh my word, I'm such a victim. Look, I've just been bullied by this person. And nobody sees how badly you were treated. All they see is how badly you acted. That's all they see. There's a different way. There's a different way to communicate. And I'll teach it to you. I'm trying to teach it to you. Over the past few parts, I don't know if this is 13, 14, 15. I'm trying to teach you everything that I know. Because it's up to us. It's up to us to start changing the communication styles so that the world around us can change, and we can start creating the world that we want to see. We're not going to blame this person, that person, that person. We need to create the world that we want, and it starts with how we communicate. We're not going to abandon ourselves anymore. Not for the sake of other people's comfort. Okay, my babes? Because that is not going to lead to a healthy environment for you to thrive in. Alright, that's all from me for now. Use your copinosity and not your holotology.